everyone, welcome back to Naomi's Bookshelf. Today is TBR Clue for June. So TBR Clue is my fun way of picking books for my TBR, for my to be read pile for the month. I do have a very loose rules for this game. Not loose rules, but I don't have a very strict punishment for myself. I have ways of switching out books, and I have an entire playlist that I will link so you can check it out. It is in the cards and down below in the description. So we will go over what I have read so far and if I beat the games for May. So as usual, I will have the cards up here so you can see what was revealed by reading the book. And the book I read was Home Before Dark for the Haul, which was the Mr. Green prompt. In the lounge, I read Erotic Stories for Punjabi Widows. This was for the prompt of W. In the dining room, I had to read a subscription box book, so I read The Body Politic by Jean-Jacques Rousseau. In the kitchen, I had the NetGalley prompt, and I read At Love's Command by Karen Whitmore. In the ballroom, I had to read a classic, so I read N or M by Agatha Christie. In the conservatory, I had to read a diverse read, so I read My Grandfather Would Have Shot Me by Jennifer Teague. For the billiards room, I had a TBR jar pull for the 2020 jar, and I tried to read Uncle Tom's Cabin. That's a lie. I didn't even try. I just knew I wasn't in a good headspace to pick up that heavy content, so I decided to wait until a better time. It is still on my shelves. I do really want to read it one day. Next, I tried to read Book to Die. I pulled that in my mid-month wrap-up, and I didn't like the writing style. I don't think it was the right timing for me, and it was just too hard-hitting for what I was expecting. It was also just too much, I think. So I decided to intentionally pick a book off of my 2020 TBR and or shelf, and I picked up Nancy Drew, The Hidden Staircase. This is by Caroline Keene, which is actually a bunch of ghostwriters. One in particular, Mildred something. I did read that finally. That's why this is actually taking so long to film in the month. In the library, I had to read historical fiction, so I read Caesar and Cleopatra by, what's his name? Bernard Shaw? George Bernard Shaw? I can't remember his first name right now. Anyways, I read the play and I did finish it. So in the study, we got Professor Plum, and I ended up reading The Kiss Quotient, which is by Helen Huang. So my official guess is Mrs. Peacock in the library with the knife. We're gonna reveal it now. Let's see. All right, here is Mrs. Peacock with the library and the knife. So no punishment this month. So before we get into setting up the board, I want to talk about my plans for next month, for June. I was saying in May that I wanted to do mood reading, no big plans, and that's a big joke. I want to do Ancients-a-thon, which is hosted by Tori from Hufflepuff Discovery and Jennifer Brooks. I am really excited about it. I do read regular Shakespeare plays, but I don't really dabble into any other ancient literature. I will link their announcement videos down below, and it sounds like a really interesting readathon that I would love to just learn more about. So I have some books for it already. I have the Odyssey, which I'd like to get onto this TBR, and you will see if I can. I don't pre-film this, like I don't film this after I film the other section, so we'll see if I can get it on. I also have this that came in a subscription box, which was published in the 1500s by Thomas Nash, so I'd like to get that on. And then I have several other books which I will be reading for sure, even if I don't get them on. So that'll be happening. And then I have the Pastoral readathon, which I want to do, which is hosted by Literary Labors. Angie, she has put this on. It's very low-key, like 3 prompts, and I really want to do it. So I have, let's see, this one here, which I really want to do, which is The Heart's Charge by Karen Whitmire. I finished the first book in this duology, I think it is right now, and I really want to read book 2. It comes out on the 1st, but my local bookstore got it in early, so I was able to pick it up. So really excited about that. I have a couple of buddy reads. I'm gonna drop these books now, which is one of them being Fairest. This is by Gail Carson Levine. I will be reading this one with Berna from Berna's Bookish Adventures. We'll be buddy reading this, and I will be reading Burial Rites. I don't remember who this is by, but I'll be reading this with Nikki, one of my subscribers. So we'll be reading that one. I have a couple book club books, not too many, but still. Yeah, I said I was gonna go easy in June, but I'm not. Also, little business to take care of first. One moment. So June is actually my birthday month. I have my birthday in June, which is really exciting. And also June is my 2-year anniversary on YouTube. I made my first YouTube video on June 1st, 2019. And as a celebration of that and my birthday, I know that a lot of people do this, and I haven't done it myself, but I am going to do it now. And I'm going to be putting an Amazon wish list down in my description box if anyone would like to. I know I have made many friends on YouTube, and I always love how people do that, and I feel like I'm just often too scared to. And I'm going to put my Amazon wish list in the description box, but don't feel any pressure to do this. Like, don't feel any pressure to check it out. Give a book to me, don't feel any pressure at all, honestly. But if you would like to, it is there. And since it is my 2-year anniversary, I would like to host a giveaway. So this giveaway will be going for the first 2 weeks of June. So I think on June 14th, I will be cutting off the giveaway. But if you would like to put a prompt that I can add to my TBR Clue, this has been going now for 5 months, and I have lots of prompts, but I would like to add some more. If you have any prompt suggestions, just leave them down in the description, not in the description, in the comments, and you can be entered for a giveaway. I will be picking a comment at random, and then I will be reaching out to you. I will be reaching out to you through your channel if you have a channel. If you don't have a channel, just leave a way for me to contact you in the comment, and then I can get in contact with you that way with some form of way to send you a book. The book will be limited to $20 or $25, we'll say $25 Canadian. And that will be through like Book Depository or Amazon. So I will be hosting a giveaway for the first 2 weeks. You can leave a comment, and I will be doing that towards the end of the month. So if you want to leave a prompt down below for TBR Clue. But it's just a little fun thing as I have hit my 2-year anniversary on YouTube. I can't believe it, and I'm just really happy about it. I didn't think I would be here 2 years later. I thought I would be enjoying myself, but I didn't think I would be loving my journey so far, and I just am loving the community and everything. So I'm excited to do this and, you know, participate in my community. So anyways, that's the little bit of business. Let's get into setting up the TBR Clue for June, and we'll see what prompts we have, and hope I can fit in Ancients-a-thon, Pastorathon, and just the books I want to read, because I also have a few new releases that I really want to get to as soon as possible. So we'll get those on there if we can. So starting off in the haul, we had a bought new book, which is something I don't do often, so this is why I have a prompt for that. And I am going to put the Odyssey straight into that spot. This book I had purchased, I think, last year, and I meant to read it last year actually, but I never got to. So this is by Homer. This is for the Ancients-a-thon, and I don't remember what prompt I'm putting this in, or if I'm even putting it into a prompt. I'm just reading it for Ancients-a-thon. This one in particular, I think it has, I don't think it even has an introduction, or if it does, it's very small. But I am interested to read this. I was going to read Ulysses with a book club, and they told us we should read this one first, but I never got around to this one because of just a bad timing, but also then I never end up reading Ulysses, which I do want to read one day, even though they say it's one of the hardest books to read. But anyways, I'm gonna read this one. I also have an audiobook of it, which will be helpful, even though it's a different translator. So who knows, we'll see. Either way, I have this one on the TBR, which is a good thing because I wanted it on there anyways. So for the lounge, I have a used book, which is something that I buy a lot of, and I decided to put in one of my old 2017 books, and that would be Robin Hood by David Baldwin. This is the English Outlaw Unmasked. Now, I don't know if this one qualifies for the Ancients-a-thon. It might, because it's about the legend of Robin Hood and who he might be. It's a nonfiction, but I don't think it does. I'm not really counting it for Ancients-a-thon. If Tori or Jennifer is watching this, let me know in the comments if it counts. Anyways, I am just wanting to read this. It's been like sitting on my shelves, staring at me, yelling at me, read me, Naomi, read me, Naomi. So I really want to read this. And it will work for Buzzwordathon, which is to read a book with titles or proper names, I think, in the title. I think it's definitely like titles in the title. So I'm like, proper names maybe. Anyways, I just want to read Robin Hood. So I bought this used and I'm excited to finally get to it. I really just want to read about who Robin Hood could possibly have been. And I believe that this took place in like the 1400s. So definitely in that era, which will be interesting to read a lot about that time period in June. So next for the dining room, we got the color wheel, which is always interesting. You never know what you're gonna get. And I got red, as you can see. And then I remembered that my ebook, which I got for The Lays of Marie de France, which I had planned on reading no matter what, is quite strongly red. So that works perfectly. This one is for the prompt of by a female author for Ancients-a-thon. And this one, I have never read something by Marie de France and I'm excited to pick it up. But yeah, it's a short one and it'll be my ebook for a little while. I'm sure I'll finish it pretty quick and I'm excited to get to it. So for the kitchen, we got 300 to 400 pages and I managed to fit in my buddy read of Fairest by Gail Carson Levine. I've heard her last name pronounced a few different ways, but that's how I've always pronounced it. In this book, I don't remember what this book's about, but I read it according to Goodreads. So when I heard Berna talk about Ella Enchanted and she wanted to read the sequel, I was like, I didn't know Ella Enchanted had a sequel. And apparently I've read the sequel and I don't remember it. So we're reading it in June, which will be so much fun. I have loved Gail Carson Levine's writing style for so long. I love her fairy tale retellings, and I just can't wait to pick this one up again. The back says something about Azza throwing her voice and singing, so that'll be interesting. I just love how she recreates fairy tales into a very much of a female empowerment way, and it's not all about the prince saving the princess. I love how she just redoes fairy tales. So I'm excited to pick this one up later in the month. So when Kindle Vet came up, I was not expecting it and I did not want it. This does not work with anything that I had wanted to read for June. None of the books I had on my TBR already fit this category. But I found something, this was actually one of the oldest books I have purchased from my Kindle in 2017, and it actually was for Pastorathon. And this is called Katie by Rachel Wesson. I actually bought the box set and it's like 5 books long, so I might just binge the whole series. We'll see. I'm definitely reading book 1. And this is about 150 pages, so it's a novella. And it's about this train robber, or I don't know. Anyway, this girl comes over from Ireland and she is, maybe she's widowed, maybe she's not. I don't really remember. I kind of read the summary, kind of didn't. Looked at the cover and it's set on the Great Frontier basically. So it will work for Pastorathon, which is great. And I will let you know at the end of the month or in mid-month wrap up how I feel about the book and if I binge the series or not. It's apparently clean, sweet romance, so that'll be a good thing to pick up. So the conservatory has 400 to 500 pages. This prompt is actually the trickiest of the board for me to fill. And I have decided to go with another one of my old books because honestly, I couldn't find another book to fit this prompt that I wanted to read already. And this one I've gone with is Bare Bones by Kathy Wright. This one, technically, according to Goodreads, is like 420 pages, I think. But inside the book, it's like 396. But then there's extra pages. So, I don't know, Goodreads is king. But also, not king, but also I'm doing Storygraph now, and I'm sure it counts anyway. So, whatever, I'm counting it. Because I do want to get this book done off my shelves, and it'll be fast and easy read. That's kind of what I just want to go for. Especially since I want to mood read a lot this month, upcoming month, and I just want to take it easy in my birthday month, to be honest. Anyways, this one. So I understand not much about this. I don't know anything really, but this series is what the TV show Bones is based off of, and Brendan is a pathologist, and she really looks at bones and solves murders. And the TV show is superior, in my opinion, than the book series, but I do enjoy the book series still, and I own several on my shelf. I don't buy them anymore because honestly, they're not really what I want to spend my money on, but I do enjoy reading them to an extent, so I will finish off the ones off my shelves and then I'll read them from the library is what my plan is. So I do want to read this one, get it off my shelf, and be done with it, kind of thing. In the billiards room, we have Colonel Mustard, and I have gone with a bit of a war theme, and that will be one of my other pastoral books, which is The Heart's Charge by Karen Whitmire. I did talk about this one earlier, and that is because these men were part of the army. In the previous book, it did talk about how they were part of the army, and then they also were part of a band of men who were helping collect outlaws after their stint in the army. So they are former army men, they are veterans, and I think it totally works for that theme. I'm really excited to pick this one up. All I know from the back is that, so the two men from the band not involved in the previous romance book, which I really recommend picking up for this readathon if you want to, and I recommend picking up this book too, even though I haven't read it yet because I think it's gonna be amazing. This book is about them, and they end up helping deliver a baby, apparently, according to the back, and then they go to an orphanage and coming across some second chance love. Sounds delightful. I'm really excited to pick it up, and I cannot wait. So in the library, we have a real life recommendation, and this is one that I wasn't really excited about either because I don't really have any of those on this TBR, but then I realized my librarian who runs the book club that I'm a part of, she's like, you're gonna like this book. So I think that counts as a real life rec. And I am going to count this because she said that I would really enjoy Drive Your Bones, let me get this title straight. Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead. It's an interesting title, isn't it? I don't remember the author's name. It's a really long one. The title or the cover's here. It's by a Polish author, and it is about a serial killer in a little Polish village. And I guess a woman in this Polish village sees this trend, and she's trying to speak up, and it's like a feminist book about these men in the village not listening to her and her trying to solve this mystery. It sounds really interesting, and my librarian said I would really like it, or she thinks I will like it based on the premise, and I think I will too. So I'm excited. The title is really intriguing to me, and I'm going to pick it up as soon as my library hold comes in. I'm getting an ebook though, so I don't know how long it is. I think it's like 300 pages, but I'm sure I'll fly through it. So for the study, we have an under 300 page book, and I'm gonna go with my other little book that I showed you, which was The Terrors of the Night by Thomas Nash. This little novella, I don't know anything about. It says at the very back, it says demonic horrors and spirits dreamt up in the most exuberant and innovative prose writer of Elizabethan England. It's very short. It's how many pages? Like 54 pages. It's tiny, and I'm really interested to read it. So it is one of my subscription box books. I think I got it with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde from my subscription box books from a long time ago, I'm trying to remember the name, from the classics box. So I'm really interested to pick it up and read this one from the 1500s. Let me see, it should say in the title, there's even a glossary, which I appreciate when it comes to Old English, because you never know what it means. So it says that he was born in 1567 and he died in 1601. So definitely qualifies for that. And this was first published in 1594. So I'm excited to read that for Ancients-a-thon. So that is officially my TBR Clue game. However, as per usual, I can switch out books if I need to, because either I'm not feeling the books or I'm just not reading them quick enough for filming a TBR video. However, I have more books on my TBR, so let's go through them. So my Agatha Christie book of the month will be a reread, and I might not even read one, to be honest, because I did read 2 in May, and like I said, I'm taking it kind of easy. But I plan on trying to read 5 Little Pigs. This will be for the Agatha Christie, or Read Christie 2021. The theme is to, or for June at least, is to read a book featuring a garden. And to be honest, I don't have a great history with this book. I think the mystery is fantastic. However, in my personal life, I have had trauma with someone named Carla. And I think that the main character's name being Carla in this book was a real struggle for me. It took me really long to read this book because of the name being Carla, and I could not get past that. So I want to try again with this book and try to see past the main character's name. So I want to see past that. So I'm going to try reading Agatha Christie's 5 Little Pigs. I think the mystery is brilliant. I think that Agatha Christie did amazing things with this book, but I just couldn't see past the main character's name. So, or one of the main character's names, shall we say. So I need to try again. So that's one book I'm going to try to read. If I don't, I'm not gonna be mad at myself, but that's one thing I'm gonna try to do. So another prompt for Pastorathon is to read a kid's book that's set in a pastoral theme or like countryside. So I'll be reading Ghost Town at Sundown. This is by Mary Pope Osborne. I recently discovered my library has like all of the Magic Treehouse books on audio, and I was like, I never finished that series as a kid. And I know they're really little, but I want to reread them. So I'm going to reread a lot of those books. I'm sorry if you follow me on Goodreads, because you're going to see a lot of them pop up individually, and that's book 10. So I'm going to be reading a lot of them. And anyways, I'm going to be reading Ghost Town at Sundown for that prompt, and I'll be reading the first 9 previous to that. If I don't read them before, I'll be reading that one for sure in June. Then I'll be reading Miss Pym Disposes. This is by Josephine Tay. I will be reading that one for Kate Howe's Summer Book Club and for Buzzwordathon. I am really excited about this one. It sounds like it's about a women's college and the lecturer dies. I don't know much more. Sounds exciting. Then I will be reading The Pilgrim's Progress for Ancients-a-thon. This is the group book. I'm going to try to read it. I remember reading a children's version, I think, when I was a kid, and I would like to read the adults version. I still need to get my hands on a copy though. So we'll see if I can find a physical copy, an audiobook, or at the very least an ebook, which should be no problem. Then I have coming from my library, The 12 Caesars by Suetonius. This is what Jennifer Brooks recommended for starting with ancient nonfiction, which I'm excited to. She said it's very gossipy, and I think it'll be great. I do own some here, which is The Lives of the Caesars and another one, but I would like to start with The 12 Caesars since she recommended it, and it'll be a good place to start, I think. And then I have a big audiobook. I'm just going through my Goodreads list of what I put on there. So this one is called The Great Mythologies of the World. I don't have many physical books, in case you didn't notice. Anyways, The Great Mythologies of the World. This one is a great courses, and it is technically on Goodreads. I don't know. I didn't realize these were all on Goodreads, these great courses, which is amazing. Anyways, this is a course done by Grant L. Voth. And I started listening to it and I want to re-listen to it. So one of the prompts for Ancients-a-thon is to like learn about ancient mythology. So to read an ancient mythology course or ancient mythology book. And since this is a book on Goodreads, I'm going to take advantage and read it through an audiobook of a lecturer. So this is just ancient mythology of the world. It has like a lot of different stories, and that's what the whole prompt is about. So I'm gonna do that one since I already have an audiobook of it on Audible. I think that's one of my best advantages of using Audible, is having these like $80, $60 courses that I just get to learn all about the world through. So exciting. Next, I have The Rose Code coming from the library. That's a big book. I hope I can get to it. I'm gonna do my best because my library book club will be reading that very soon, and I wanna get to it so I can pass it on to the next person in that time frame if possible, or the next person on my wait list can get to it because it's a popular book. Shakespeare plays. I have a few that I wanna read. First of all, my cousin who has done a lot of Shakespeare, she said that Troilus and Cressida is a great one to read because it's set in the ancient times. And I thought that'd be really interesting. So I'm gonna try to do that one. Otherwise, I have Romeo and Juliet out from the library right now. So there's that one. And maybe Othello. I don't know why, but Othello scares me. I don't know why Othello is like the one Shakespeare play, which I'm like, I don't really wanna read you. I don't really wanna read that play. I would much rather read like any other Shakespeare play than Othello. Even Titus Andronicus. Like that one I know is gory, but I'd rather read that one than Othello right now. So we'll see. And then that's it. Also Burial Rites, which I mentioned earlier. That one's by Hannah Kent, I see here. And that one is about a farm girl who's been accused of killing her master, the people in charge, like her bosses or something on her farm. I don't know. It's Scandinavian as well, so that'll be interesting. Anyways, I have quite a few books on this TBR, and we'll see how they all play out. I'm not really sure how they'll go, but I'm excited for most of them, if not all of them. And the ones I'm not super excited about, at least they're short. So like I said before, if you want to enter the giveaway, please leave a prompt suggestion down below for Clue if you have any ideas, or you can leave a book recommendation down below in the comments. That'd be great as well. Anyways, if you liked this video, please like and subscribe if you are new here, if you would like to. You can also hit that notification bell if you would like to for regular notifications from me. And I will see you next time in another video. Bye for now.